Morning, everybody. It's another day of winning the day. And I'm Mark Simpson sitting in for John Moran. John is out and traveling the country, and he's asked me to sit in. And of course, we've got our regular wonderful guests, co-hosts, Julie Morris and Destiny Powell. So we're going to be talking today. Destiny, you've been out in LA, so welcome back. And
Thank you.
we're going to be talking today about one of those ways of winning is definitely about having confidence. And there's really three things. John wrote about this in his post, which has to do with confidence, mentor, process, and hard work. And so as we get going, we're talking about those different components. I want us to, first off, let us know where you're winning from. Where are you watching? Comment in the section. We'd love to know where you're winning from, where you're viewing from, where you're engaging from, because your comments, your likes, your shares make a difference. So go ahead and let us know that. But when you think about winning the day and beginning with confidence, a lot of people don't realize this, but confidence comes from the word, the Latin root of with faith. And it means moving with faith. And I started thinking about this. Faith is a projection into the future of positive things. Fear is a projection into the future of negative things. And we can choose fear or faith. We get to decide on that. But I think that stepping out and making a choice of confidence, and I think it is a choice. I think that sometimes we step back and say, no, I'm just not feeling confident. Well, what do we know? What we feel is determined by what we think. What we think drives everything else, our beliefs. And so my question to you is, are you moving with a projection into the future of positive things, expecting positive things, or are you always looking for the downside? What do y'all think about that whole issue of confidence and projecting into the future?
Well, I would say that, sometimes when you say, how do I know that I'm confident, or how can I build confidence, or it's easy to say that I have confidence, but confidence grows based on action. And, so action, what can you do to build your confidence? You can study the market. You can preview. This is something that John talks about over and over, studying the market and previewing. That will build your confidence. And then the next thing is, how do you build your confidence? Well, with clients. How do you get clients? Face to face. So face to face, voice to voice, that's how you get clients. And that's how you're going to build your confidence. So build your confidence by practicing, whether it's doing open houses and practicing, or whether it's door knocking, but you need to be face to face, and that's how you build your confidence.
Yeah, getting in the game. If we look at these four words that John has in his post, confidence, mentor, process, and hard work. I know that when I finished grad school many years ago, that was 1991. I was 20, going on 26 years old, and I went to the number one therapist in my area. And I said, hey, I want to go to work for you. And he said, I don't have a position to hire you. And I said, no problem. I need supervision. I'm going to give you 10 hours a week of work. I'll see whoever you want me to see. In exchange, I'm going to ask one thing, that you'll give me 1 hour a week of your supervision and your insight and your mentoring. He goes, wait, you'll work for me for free? And I said, no, I'll work for you for one of your hours. I'll give you 10 in exchange for your one. And he said, deal. And I went to work, and for a year, I saw 10 people a week, 10 hours a week. And every week we'd sit down for an hour. Well, truth be told, those hours began to grow. And then he began to transfer other folks. And at the end of 12 months, he said, hey, I've got paying clients for you. But what had happened along the way is that time with him, that time and experience. And I was working other jobs. I was getting in, I had my own clients in another place that paid me. Um, but to your point, is putting in that time, putting in that work, aligning myself with somebody that that could show me how to do it made a big difference. And I think in real estate, the same things that it's the same thing. In my coaching program, all of our new agents get two coaches. I coach, I have a player coach, and they get a mentor so that when the transaction happens, we have someone to guide them through step by step so they understand the process. And that's where the confidence is built. Um, Destiny, what about you? What's been the most confidence building thing for you?
I think it's just getting in there and doing it scared. You just got to rip that band-aid. I say it all the time, but I remember coming to you when I first started. And I said, I've never bought a house before. How can I convince somebody to let me sell their house, or to buy a new house for someone else? And you said you don't know it until you know it. And it took me getting that first deal and saying, okay, that wasn't so bad. I got this. I can do this, and I can do it again, and I can do it again, and building that confidence. So I think it's a staircase that you have to climb to gain that confidence. And that's how I feel I've gotten a little more successful, is because people can now hear that in my phone calls. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I've got a little experience under my belt now. So
Yeah, I wish people could hear Destiny make those phone calls. I've been on the in the room while she's making those calls, and she's fearless, and she rolls with the punches, and she laughs when they
mm-hmm.
say oddball things, and she doesn't take it personally when they try to fluster you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no timidity in it, but that came from doing it scared.
Right.
Um,
There's
so,
also scripts. I would suggest, if you're new to real estate, and I know a large percentage of the people watching this are probably real estate related.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can memorize scripts,
Mm-hmm.
memorize one or two or three scripts, and then you just keep saying them over and over until
Right.
you master those scripts. I mean, it's like learning an instrument. If you're learning to play the piano or the violin or the guitar, you can't improvise until you know how to play the scales. You're never going to see someone in a band improvising, or someone in an orchestra improvising on the piano, if they don't already know the piano and they don't have it mastered. They're just going to sound like a monkey pounding on the keys. Same
Mm-hmm.
with scripts. You're going to sound like a monkey if you're just trying to wing it and think, oh, I just want to say it my own way. No, it's not going to come out well. If you have it
yeah,
memorized, now you've just got the confidence. I know what to say. All I need to do now is listen and ask
Mm-hmm.
questions.
it's funny. People, a lot of agents don't want to put in that work of um, of practicing the scripts, and it boils down to um, you read it, record it, and then play with it. That's a big piece to it. Get playful with it, change
Mm-hmm.
up the tempo, the tenor of it, work on your tone. And I even, my team laughs at me and those that I coach, because I have scripts and I have purposeful chuckles at time where I know there
Mm-hmm.
might be some anxiety. And, I'll say, we don't know each other, because I know, hey, this is Mark Simpson from Keller Williams Real Impact Home Team. We don't know each other, because they're going, Mark Simpson, should I know you? Anxiety's rising. And that little chuckle brings down the anxiety. And then I acknowledge, hey, we don't know each other. What I'm calling you about is, and I just go right into the call.
Mm-hmm.
And so the chuckle is every little piece of that. Even I stammer, I stutter purposefully to not come across as, hi, this is Mark Simpson from Keller Williams Real Impact Home Team. Let me, and it sounds too scripted. You have to
Mm-hmm.
practice sounding unscripted.
You have to practice
Right.
to sound natural. You
Yes.
definitely do have to practice, but you do have to practice, and you do have to memorize the script. You have to
Mm-hmm.
become a master where you have every single word, every pause memorized, because you cannot improvise until you have it mastered. And I see people, or don't be so rigid with the script. Now,
Mm-hmm.
go in the opposite direction. But I get calls all the time, and it's generally someone on a script who's you wanted me to join their team, and they have, hi, this is blank blank from such and such real estate. How are you doing today? And I'll say, fine. How may I help you? And they'll say, that's good to hear. And it's always funny because every single time I'll say, how can I help you? Because I never, as a realtor, you're going to answer your phone every single time because you don't know if it's someone calling on a listing, a referral, this, that, the other. But as soon as I know it's one of those calls, I'll say, fine, how can I help you? Not knowing, is that what it is? And I'll always get that's good to hear. I know it's a script. So remember to listen.
Be in the moment.
Memorize, listen to what they say and respond appropriately.
I think that's the biggest thing is the more you master it, the more you can listen.
If you have it mastered, you can listen. I've watched agents on my team trying to use a script and being like ready to say the next thing, kind of like that's good here, and then the next thing, and I'm like, no. You have to have it so memorized that you can listen.
Yeah, Destiny, go for it.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's important when you're practicing your scripts to practice with someone who has done it for a little while as well, because they know those kinks and those speed bumps to throw at you and help you maneuver through them. And I had an agent call me once and ask, hey, can you help me? And I was throwing everything at her, and she got stumped. I said, that's what's going to happen, so let's keep running the play, run the play, run the play. And she kept apologizing. I says, hey, this is how we do it. Don't apologize. This is what they do in sports. They run the play until they get it right. So let's go.
It's funny. And I like, by the way, been throwing some folks on the screen here. Glad you're here, Shayna and Stephen and Jesse. And I like what Shayna says here. Flip the script. Instead of fake it until you make it, face it until you make it. Hey, when you've got somebody that you're practicing with, you want them to throw the curveballs. Now, I do that a lot in real estate, but one of my favorite stories of scripting, when I was a therapist, we scripted, I taught grad school, and I had this guy, he went on to be a great therapist. He's still a great therapist, running clinics and everything. His name was Chris, and he sat down and we were role playing, and he goes, hello, Mr. Simpson. What brings you here today? And I just looked at him and I went, why the hell do you think you can help me? And he goes, time out. I was like, no. He goes, that wouldn't happen. I go, oh yeah, it will. It will. It happens in therapy. It happens in real estate. And that we've got to be prepared for those moments. And
we practice.
Go ahead.
That's why we practice. That's why we need to practice with each other. And practice, talk to yourself on the screen, talk to yourself in front of the mirror, talk to yourself in your phone, and then listen to yourself, record yourself. You'll keep getting better. Just keep doing it.
Well, and reality is you don't get better unless you inspect. And so that is, the confidence comes from doing it and facing it and getting some success and scraping your knees. A mentor who can say, look at this, and you need to mentor yourself, and you need somebody else that will walk you through and give you insight, a coach, a mentor that will guide you through that. When you follow the process, and those are scripts, you have some guardrails that, okay, I know where to go, but be willing to tape and watch the game tapes. Be willing to go back and review, because that's where the improvement comes from. But here's the thing. I think, Destiny, you said something around we're in the Olympics. We're looking at these masters of the sport. They weren't born masters of the sport.
Right.
How did that strike you? What was it that you were saying?
Well, I said I want to take on the mindset of a champion. I want to attack my business the way that these Olympians are doing and what they do in their skill set. And I was just so fascinated watching them as an adult now, kind of understanding it a little more and just watching how they've mastered their being a gymnast or a swimmer or a runner. And I'm just like, man, they've trained their whole life for this. and down to their diet and their routine when they wake up, how long they train. And it's like, if they can do that in the Olympics in their field, I can do that in this. So,
yeah, what would it be like if you approached your real estate career, your day, like an Olympian,
right.
and you did it every day?
Every day.
There's a reason why we keep bringing up Michael Phelps, right?
Right.
There's a reason for that, because they are symbols and houses of greatness. So let's bring it back around. We want to win the day. This is all about winning the day. And so the first question is, what is it that you need to do to tap into confidence? One thing is, it's not a bad idea to keep a log of your wins, to be able to draw upon past wins so that you can put yourself in a state of confidence. And sometimes you got to just face it until you can build those wins into it. But create a list, create some anchors of wins to go into it with confidence. Surround yourself with people smarter than you, who've been down some roads before, who've made the mistakes that they, that you want to avoid. You don't have to repeat mistakes. Commit to a process. What is your process? Hey, newsflash. Kind of goes back to the mentor. Find the thing that's working. Don't go try to create something new. Creativity. You haven't earned the right of creativity until you've mastered the essentials, the process. And success is left closed. And then work your butt off. I know too many realtors that I'll ask, are you full-time? And they go, yes, but you look at the actual hours that they work, and they're putting in 10 hours a week, hoping for 7-figure returns. It doesn't work that way. Julie, what you got for us to win the day?
Well, a couple of things. I would say, the process portion of it. If you've ever had a corporate job or any kind of job with structure, a lot of people are attracted to real estate because they're free spirit, and I don't like structure, and I like everything to be different every day. And, yes, we all like that. I like that. But the reality is if you don't have a structure, if you don't have a system, if you're not doing the things that are most important every day, you will fail. So you need to have the structure, and you have to embrace the structure. The structure is actually what gives you freedom.
Yes.
You have to follow the structure in order to have the freedom, to have the time off. Schedule the time off, schedule the fun, but schedule the structure of mastering what you can. Don't be afraid of, I don't know how to do this, or I'm going to wait till it hits me. You have to get face to face with people. So you need to find a way to get face to face with people and then practice. So do the things that it takes to have structure, memorize some scripts, and get face to face with people.
Yeah, it's the rails that make a powerful train just fly. It's the string that keeps a kite in the air.
Yep.
If you do not have that structure, your freedom goes away.
You have to keep coming back to these, professional athletes. I think is just a great example. I trained for a triathlon, and it wasn't getting up each morning going, should I swim? Should I bike? Should I run? How far should I go? No, it was a 6-month training program, and I knew every single day what I was doing. So I got up at a certain hour. When the alarm clock got off, I got up, I put on whatever I needed to, and I went and did the thing. I might not do great that day, whether I was swimming or running or riding, but I was doing the thing. I was within the structure of the guardrails of the process, and that's how you improve.
Perfect. Destiny, bring us in. Help us win the day based on this whole thing.
I like what Julie said about structure. And then I think it's having that discipline and sticking with it. I think that's the hardest part, is we can create a schedule all day long, but sticking with it, that's when the challenge comes in, day 3 and 4, when it's like, I don't want to get out of bed. I can get away with just another hour of sleep, but you've got to stick with it. And then I think having somebody to be accountable to plays a huge role. Somebody that'll get on you and fuss at you a little bit when you're slacking helps out, but having somebody to report to and say, this is what I did today, and these were my successes from what I did today, that helps.
Track
Excellent.
Your activities. Even if you're not doing well, if you're tracking, you're moving forward.
Yeah. And then the tracking gives you breadcrumbs to go back and correct places where you got off course. Without that, you're just kind of, you're a ship in the ocean without a navigational system. You're
Yep.
just going to get lost. And
You
it's
can't improve what you don't track.
so
Right.
true. All right. So as John says, in some, the way we're going to win the day is today. Find that spot of confidence, get into that state, move into the process. Julie said it best. You've got to have that tension, that process, and have somebody that will hold you accountable. Give yourself to that process and then go work your butt off, because that's how you're going to win the day today. Hey, we're so thankful that you are here. You're winners. We're winning all across the country. It's great to see Salt Lake City and Chapel, Florida. Looks like up in Huntsville, right here in on the Emerald Coast. We've got people. So great to see all of you here winning with us and allowing us to speak into and start your day winning. And let's go win the day. Thanks for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care.
Bye, guys.
See you guys. Bye-bye.